So, first off, we have a game from Genius Games. It's funny, we're doing Genius Games and Brain Games.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that.
But so we have Ion, a compound building game.
That's a little catch slogan thingy it's got on here.
And so what you do, and this is a card.
Hold on. Sorry, I got to jut in because didn't they also do a game called Compounded?
Compound.
No, Compounded. Yeah.
Oh, they did.
Was that them?
I'll look it up.
I don't know.
So I thought it was a funny catch. If so, sorry. Continue.
So we'll come back to that, but an Ion is a card drafting game. Each person has a hand of cards. You're going to be taking a card from that hand, passing them, and you keep getting more and more cards until you have 2 left, and you toss the other 2 away.
No, it was Dice Hate Me.
Yeah, that's I was thinking that's another like chemistry game, but they do. Genius Games does have several chemistry games. That's why
because there's like cytosis and
well, that's biology, but
but like science really.
They have a new one called Periodic that came out last year.
And we have another one from them called Covalence. We'll be talking about in the future. So you're drafting cards in this, building up compounds. And what you are doing to do that, each card has a charge on it, either a plus or a minus.
Based on what the element is. So
hydrogen has a plus charge to it. And you'll have like chloride, which has a negative charge. And so if I were to draft a hydrogen, I lay that down in front of me. I later draft a chloride. I can pair that with the hydrogen to bond it and balance out the compound, or I can play it by itself and bond it with something else on a future turn. Once you bond it, it's down. It like you can't unbond or bond stuff that you put down separately. And
does it do? Sorry, science brain kicking in here. Is it only like a single plus and like a single minus?
Yeah. There are some that have 2 plus,
right,
and 2 minus. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, because I'm, obviously there's like the way the bonds work, where
Yeah, there are some things in here.
Sometimes you have like H2O, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some things in here that have multiple positives or negatives with it, and if that's the case, you have to have the same number of the opposite charge,
right,
and but the opposite charge has to be all the same same element too.
Gotcha.
So like if you need 2 negatives, you could have 2 fluorides, but they have to be the same.
And you mentioned water, H2O. There are hydroxide cards in this. So if you have a hydrogen and a hydroxide, so you are doing this. And there's also noble gases. So they don't have a charge. So they're just by themselves, but if you can build up a set, if you have
that's a collection.
Different, if you have all 3 of different noble gases that are in the game, you get 9 points. If you only have 2, 5, and only 1 is 2 points. So they're their own thing.
Then you have the polyatomic ions.
Yeah, that's another part of the game. They have polyatomic ion cards that there's only 1 of each of those, and so you can't really match multiples of those.
Those are fun. Because that you need multiples of the other things, which is great. It's hard.
And so at the end of the round, you get points for the completed compounds that you've made. There's numbers on the cards that represent the points that you get, and incomplete ones just go away. They're not worth anything. So you can get kind of screwed out of stuff if people see what you're going for.
Like you do to me.
And also, in the middle of the table, there's going to be 3 cards that say you can get extra points for making these compounds.
They're kind of like gold cards.
Yeah. And
that's what it says, 9 gold cards. I just see that.
And each round, those will refresh. Like, you'll reshuffle and deal out 3 more. And you do 3 rounds, and at the end of the 3 rounds, you see who has the most points.
So is it possible you could get the same gold card?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you really, like,
I didn't shuffling everything.
I didn't know if you'll because you said 3 cards, 3 rounds. I didn't know.
Yeah, you could.
We have
played
do it that way
if you want to see everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you're supposed to do is you shuffle them back in and then deal them out. And there's actually multiple levels to this game. Like there's the basic game, which has just the normal elements and the noble gases and the gold cards. It's pretty easy to follow, and then you can add in the polyatomic ions and
the
these
transition metals.
And transition metals and these tiles that are in front of you that allow you extra powers. So there's a tile that lets you take 2 cards instead of just 1. So you flip that tile over, you take a card from the deck to replace the extra one that you pulled out, and when you pass it, so it's still a proper hand. And there's in that level, there's going to be a row of 4 cards in the middle. The two other tiles that you have, one is take from center. So in addition to the one that you pull from the hand, you can take one from the middle of the table, and that doesn't refill until the next round. And then there's, I don't know what it stands for, is RXN.
I don't know what it stands for either.
That's my lack of science knowledge. But looking it up. But that allows you to choose from the discarded pile of cards at the end of the round and whatever's left in the middle. And then...
Oh, reaction.
I thought it was reaction. It was just a weird way of typing. I typed in
science RXN meaning.
Nice.
And then at the very high end, like, you can have kind of a push your luck thing. This part requires 3 or more players, so we only got to play with this once. But you have the radioactive elements, and so if you pull a radioactive element from the hand, like, and when you reveal, if multiple people have revealed that, you, depending on how many,
the same element.
Yeah, the same element. So I think one of them was like uranium. Like if I reveal a uranium, and Cindy reveals a uranium, we have to like turn them 90 degrees, and they're worth less points.
Aren't they negative?
If there's enough that get turned over, they're worth negative.
Oh, okay.
See, I would do like all of them explode. Nobody gets points because it starts a fusion or fission.
But at the end of the game, the person that has the most will get a certain amount of points. Second most will get a certain amount of points, and then the person who has the least amount actually loses points.
Right.
So it's like the puddings in I
was going to say this whole game reminds me of a science Sushi Go.
I could see that,
like from your description.
Yeah, I mean, with you combining and making compounds, that's a little bit different than Sushi Go in terms of.
Well, I'm just saying, like
because that's just set collection.
The set collection aspect, a set collection drafting game, for instance.
Yeah, the thing it adds from like the Sushi Go thing is those gold cards in the middle, and also, excuse me, the science aspect of it.
Right.
So I know a considerable amount about chemistry. It was like where the science. I don't know a lot, but I know like a decent amount.
Yeah.
I'm just reminded of that Spider-Man being. It was like, I happen to be somewhat of a scientist myself. You know what I'm talking about?
No, but it's funny.
You haven't seen that?
Yeah, I was very good at chemistry in high school, but it was like 15 years ago, 16. Oh my gosh, I'm old.
We don't have to say how long ago it was.
It was a long time ago that I last took chemistry.
We don't have to talk about it.
Gosh, it was 18 years ago that I last took chemistry, guys.
Okay.
Holy cow. Sorry.
That one. Norman Osborn.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I did not remember hardly anything.
So
this game was very informative.
Something that's cool is I actually found myself accidentally learning stuff.
Yeah, me too. Definitely. I loved it.
The gold cards are situated in different things. Like you have the natural earth metals and other things. Like what's on the back of the box there?
Well, this one just says noble gases and something alkaline bases.
Yeah, alkali metals. I know that's one.
Oh yeah, alkaline metal bases.
And so there's information on like what those kind of compounds are used for as well.
I know, it's informative. Like there's something it talks about for the noble gases. It's like these are used in signs and things like neon and all. I'm like, what? This is so cool. Odorless, colorless, something. I don't know. I can't even read it. It's too tiny.
Wait, what was used in signs?
Well, neon is a gas. That's why.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were surprised that neon was in neon.
No, I knew that.
signs.
No, I knew that. But I'm just saying.
That's just the card that you can easily
I know,
see on the.
It just talks about what these things are used for.
Yeah,
and there's one.
No, I get it. You don't have to.
I'm curious because there's one that's about acids and bases or something to that effect. Oh, the cards are all like.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I like the design of this game.
Yes,
it looks really
it's really
good.
cool. It's so cool. Oh, yeah, here we go. Here's one. Alkali metal bases. So it's strong bases mixed with fats to make soap used in the process to turn trees into paper and also used in agriculture to correct soil pH. Like, I mean, it's informative. It's so cool.
Fight Club.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to request this game stay here.
It's really pretty.
I want to try this with some of my regular.
I played it with someone at work, like with the basic level, and she immediately went and bought it.
Nice.
Did she really?
Yeah.
That's
so
funny. We've been playing this at my office a lot.
I'm glad you opened this because something that's really kind of cool in this, like in a lot of games, there isn't a scoreboard, score tracker. Oh, this does up to 7 players, by the way. It's 2 to 7.
I saw that.
Yeah. So it fits that same, like, a big difference of player count, and it's not really that much difference in time.
No.
So something they have in this, they have a really, like, just a really thin score track. It just sits on the table, and you keep track of your score. A lot of games could easily put this kind of thing in their game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I like that they did. It's nothing fancy. It's just something you don't have to write down any numbers or anything like that, like you do in the original Sushi Go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or I was thinking, we were just playing Silver the other day, and that one has a scorecard on it, and you could easily do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that way you're not wasting paper, having to rip them off and.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like this game. I think it's very fun.
Yeah, like I really want to play this with Jimmy and Corey.
Yeah, yeah.
They love a lot of the Genius games. I think they have Cytosis. I think.
Oh,
I want to play Cytosis. I think that one is worker placement. No, wait, no. Am I thinking of the right one?
There's Peptide. Which one's that?
Cytosis is a bigger box, right?
Yeah.
It's a normal size box.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that one's worker placement.
Isn't Peptide one of theirs?
Yeah, that's one.
Okay.
Yeah. That's about this size.
Oh, it's tiny. Okay. So yeah, what do you think? I really like this game.
I really like it. I think it's nice that it can go across a spectrum of different gaming levels too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you can tailor it based on the skill level.
Yeah, I probably won't play without the extra action tiles.
Oh yeah, those are super.
If I'm not introducing it to people,
those are nice. I want to play. Like we've played this a bunch 2-player, and it works well. But and we've played it, like you said, once at 3. But I want to introduce this to larger groups, too, because I think it would be really fun having more cards to draft from.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was something that we ran into in our 2-player games sometime. Or this is something we ran into in our 2-player games. Is that, like, the last time we played, I had collected something. I was like, okay, I know there are 3 fluorides in the deck. And I was like, so I'm going to take this chance that I can get these 3 fluorides to balance out this... you know, one element that I'm putting down here. And then Collin took one of my 3 fluorides. I'm like, no! But if you have a larger amount of people playing, then there's more cards. So you
might have more.
You have more of a chance to get what you need.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I'd give Ion a couple of thumbs.
Just
Me
one thumb up to match with another.
Sorry, I'm warming my other hand. My hands are cold.
Is it you give a thumb up to match with her thumb as well? So it's an Ion.
Oh my god!
Oh, we're bonding.
We're
yes.
bonding.
We're bonding.
That's what I was going.
You're so funny.
We just drove it. We drove it home.
Ion from Genius Games.